monitoring and or improving the effectiveness of recruiting. Okay, now there are certain methods used to monitor and or improve the effectiveness of recruitment in the organizations. Some of them are: the first method that the organizations can use in order to monitor or either improve the efficiency or effectiveness of recruitment in their own organization is realistic job previews. See, using realistic job previews means you are basically giving the entire picture, which has both the positive things related to the job as well as the negative things related to the job, to a particular applicant. Now, see, what is the advantage? See, for example, if you communicate only the positive things related to a job, telling that we are a very reputed company, we offer a very good remuneration, your career growth will be excellent in our organization. In this way, if you offer only positive things to applicants, now there are chances that if they enter your organization and if they face any negative things or negative situations, they may leave. There are chances for this kind of things to happening. Now, the basic advantage of using realistic job previews is if you give both the positives and negatives to the employee or basically the applicant before he joins your organization. Now, if you give both the positives and negatives, now if he enters the organization as an employee, if he faces any negative situations, there are chances that he may feel that instead of using different other methods, telling that complaining or just leaving the organization, or basically having a negative perception about the entire organization. Now, basically he can there are chances where he can tell that, okay, I have been informed about this. So basically he will work in satisfaction, or he will be having more job satisfaction, or more involvement, or more connection with the organization, because you have basically given him the complete picture of the job. He entered the organization after listening to all the positives and negatives relating to a job. So in this particular scenario where you use the realistic job previews, you are basically assuring the employee that this is the environment that you are going to step in. If you are interested, then come into the organization. You are basically informing him, right? Consider the two different scenarios. I told you, right? In first scenario, there is a chance that employees may quit, right? Now, if the employee quits after he faced any negative negative situation, or negative experience in the organization, now the entire time, entire effort, entire cost that you have invested in order to bring in this employee from the external environment to your organization is a waste, right? Now, in the second situation where since you have communicated all the positive things and the negative things, that means since you have used the realistic job previews, this particular employee is satisfied after hearing that, okay, I should be prepared to some negative instances, or not always negative instances. You can also, for example, the negative things in the realistic job previews will be like, sometimes the employer will tell that, okay, sometimes you will be required to work on Sundays also, or sometimes the trade union members may talk a bit harsh, or sometimes your subordinates will be a bit harsh, or your superiors will be a bit harsh, or sometimes you have to stay in the office till midnight. In this way, if you are trying to provide all the positives and negative things, now there is a less chance that this particular employee will quit. Now there is a less chance, if there is a less chance that this particular employee will quit, now you are basically improving the effectiveness and efficiency of your particular recruitment, right? Now this is how this particular realistic job previews use to basically improve your effectiveness, or basically to your effectiveness or efficiency of the recruitment in an organization. This is one method. Now, second method is surveys. You can basically conduct surveys telling that how has recruitment gone and all these things, basically surveys relating to recruitment. Now, the third method is using recruitment metrics or statistical tools in order to monitor and improvise the effectiveness or efficiency of the recruitment in the organization. The first recruiting metric or statistical tool is something called as quality of fill statistics. Now, don't look at this formula, don't get confused. I will give you a simple example or simple explanation for this. Now, see, quality of fill statistics is basically a method which gives you a percentage relating to the quality of the recruitment that has already happened in your organization. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me give you a simple example. Let us assume that this is January 2021. Let us assume that, okay? Now, let us also assume that in January 2020, that means in the same date or same month, in the previous year, you have done recruitment and you recruited a bunch of employees, okay? Like, 100 or 200 or 300 employees you recruited, okay? Basically, a recruitment happened in January 2020. And now in the next year, January 2021, you want to see how well did that recruitment, serve your organization. What is the basic quality of that recruitment? Now you use this particular formula. Now, what is this formula? This formula gives you a percentage, or basically a percentage which represents the quality of recruitment. And organizations will have this telling that, okay, if the quality that you get from this particular, after applying this particular formula, is between this and this, then our recruitment is good. That means our recruitment has happened in a good manner. If the quality is, below this particular, number, then the quality is not at all good. We have to, improvise that, or you have to, look after what are the different things that we have done in the recruitment so that we could improve that. This way, organization will have their own criteria. Now, come back to the formula. Now, how to find out this particular, number, or how to find out this quality of recruitment? See, now quality of fill statistics, or basically see, we told right in the previous year, that means January 2020, we have recruited, a certain number of employees, right? Now, we are basically looking after this quality of fill statistics for the entire year of 2020. Okay, we passed the year, right? Now, this is January 2021, right? January 2020, we did recruitment. So, we are basically trying to find the quality of that particular recruitment. Now, 1 year has completed, right? Now, see, there are 4 things that you have to consider in this formula. Okay, now, the first thing is the percentage of the people who are retained after this one particular year. That means initially if you hired like 100 employees, and in the year, as the year is passing on, let us assume that by the end of the year 20 people left. Out of the 100 that you have brought into this organization, let us assume that 20 people left. Okay, now how many people are remaining? 80 people. That is 80% of the total, the initial recruited people, right? Initially 100 you recruited, 80 people are there, 20 left. That means only 80 are remaining out of the 100. That is 80%, right? Now we bring in that 80 here, only that 80. Okay, we bring in that 80. That is the first component. The second thing is, see, each and every employee at the time of his selection or joining the organization, we give them certain targets, right? Performance. I'm telling that, okay, these are the standards expected from you. You have to fulfill these particular kind of things, right? Now the first component is percentage of the people retained after first year, or basically 1 year. Okay, in this particular example, percentage of the people retained after 1 year. Now the second component is, we have given performance standard to each and every employee, right? Now the percentage of the people who have reached that particular performance standards, who have attained the required performance standards, you take out that percentage of people. For example, initially 100 people are hired, right? For example, if you gave them a target of producing 10 mobiles per month, okay, now by the end of the year, you have observed telling that only 50 percentage of the people, that means only 50 out of the 100 people actually met this particular target, their own targets. Now you take that 50, yeah, 50 percentage of people, right? 50, you take that only. Now you don't consider the percentage, okay, you only take the number. Now the first component, percentage of the employees retained after 1 year, 80 percentage are there, right? So you only take the number, you don't take the percentages, okay, you only take the number 80 and you put here. Now the second component is the percentage of people who met the performance standards. Now the third component is the average performance ratings of all the employees in the time period. The average performance ratings, organizations give performance ratings, okay, the average of all the people that you have recruited in that particular recruitment, the average of their performance appraisals. Now this is the third component. Now you got these 3 components, right? You add the 3 components and you divide by 3. Why 3 here? Why are you dividing this, the total that you get by adding these components by 3? Because you have considered 3 indicators, 3 terms, you have 3 components you have considered, so you will divide by 3. Okay, so this is basically the formula of quality of fill statistics. Now see, this is used to measure the quality of recruitment. Okay, now the formula is Q is equal to PR plus HR plus PH by N, where if if it is difficult for you to remember this formula, you can basically tell in explanation telling that average performance ratings of new hires plus the percentage of new hires retained after 1 year plus the percentage of new hires reaching acceptable productivity within acceptable time frame, divide this entire sum by the number of indicators, which is 3 here. So if this basically PR, HR, HP are basically the short forms given to this. Now if you don't or basically if you are finding difficulty in explaining this or remembering this particular formula, you can basically explain them. This is quality of fill statistics. Now you'll also be having another statistical tool or another recruitment metric called as time to fill. Now what do you mean by time to fill? Time between when the position opened till a candidate is selected. For example, if I rolled out an advertisement today saying that, okay, this position is vacant, the HR manager position is vacant, I need any candidate or suitable or a good candidate in order to fill this particular position, or in order to fulfill this particular position. Now For example, after 3 months or 4 months, a candidate is selected. Okay. Now this particular 3 or 4 months is there, right? Right from when the position is open to right from when the candidate is selected, the time period is there, right? This is basically time to fill, and it is always considered in organizations that the lesser the time to fill, the good it is. Now this is basically one of the considerations in organization. That means the organizations try to maintain the time to fill as less as possible. Okay. Now we also have this particular statistical tool or recruitment metric called as yield ratios. Now this particular concept of yield ratios is one of the most important statistical tool or recruitment metric that you need to know before getting into organizations, especially into recruitment department. Now what do you mean by yield ratio? See, yield ratios help in indicating which recruitment sources are most effective at producing qualified candidates. Okay. Now simply, yield ratio is the percentage of applicants from a recruitment source that makes it to the next stage of the selection process. If there is more than one stage in recruitment, then we get a cumulative yield ratio. Now what do you mean by all the thing that I have just read? See, basically yield ratio is a concept which gives you the percentage of the candidates who make to the next round, from which basically you can basically try to tell the quality of a particular recruitment source through this particular yield ratio. That means if also if a recruitment source is having a high yield ratio when compared to all the others, that means it is producing more quality when compared to other different sources. What do you mean by that? Let us consider a simple example. For example, I have a particular vacancy of these many number of employees, whatever it is in my organization. I have a vacancy. Now I have vacancies relating to certain like 10 or 15 employees. Okay. Now I rolled out an advertisement. The first advertisement is in newspaper. Okay. The second advertisement that I rolled out is LinkedIn. The third advertisement that I rolled out is in, for example, if I rolled an advertisement in an FM radio. Okay. Now let's consider that I rolled an advertisement in these three different sources. Now so many different people applied. Okay. So many this particular advertisements through these three sources reached to so many different applicants, and they applied, or so many different people and they applied. Now they are applicants, right? Now let us assume that so many different resumes came. Okay. Initial screening will be there in the organization, right? That means out of all the resumes that my organization received, my team will basically initially screen, right? Okay, telling that okay, this is my organization's requirement. Now these are the things that are mentioned in the resume. Okay, this resume requirements, or basically the resume details match my company's requirements. Okay, this resume is okay, this resume is not okay, this resume is okay. In this way initial screening happens basically, right, in any organization. Now let us assume that in my organization, the selection procedure will be like initial screening, we already discussed. Then you will be having a written examination, and then you will be having a technical round, and then you will be having a final round. Now let us assume that out of all the people, after initial screening, we will be starting the this particular yield ratio generally in this particular example. Why? Because so many people will be applying for the vacancies in our organization. Some people will not be eligible, they'll still randomly send resumes. So let us consider from initial screening. After initial screening, let us assume that 100 people, or basically 100 resumes are shortlisted, telling that okay, these after initial screening, these resumes are found to be basically suitable, or basically matching to our organization's requirements. Okay. So basically we have called out each and every profile for written examination in our organization. So 100 people came, 100 people came, 100 people came. Okay. Now each and everyone gave the written exam. Okay. Don't forget, three different sources, 100 people after initial screening are found to be matching with the organization's requirements. So each and every 100 people each and every set of 100 people are undergone through written examination. Let us assume that out of the 100 people who came through employment news, only 50 people qualified the written examination. Now I can tell this, right, telling that only 50% of the people qualified to the next round. Okay. Now here the yield ratio is 50%. That means the percentage of the people qualifying to the next round. Let us assume that what is the second source that we discussed? LinkedIn. Out of the 100 people through LinkedIn, only 40 people came to the next round, qualified the written. Okay. Now here the yield ratio is only 40%, because only 40% of the total people move to the next round. This is the yield ratio. Let us assume that through all the resumes, all the 100 people that came through the FM radio, only 20 people qualified the written examination. So here the yield ratio is only 20%, because only 20% of the total people move to the next round, right? Now let us assume that in my organization, after written examination, what we discuss, technical round. Now only 50 people came out. Out of the total 100, 50 people came out. Here 40, here 20. Now out of these 50 people, let us assume that only 20 people or 30 people, whatever it is, let us assume that 20 people qualified the technical round one. Now we will calculate the percentage here, telling that okay, 50 out of the total 50 people, only 20 people qualified. We will calculate a percentage here, telling that okay, this is the yield ratio of this particular stage. Okay, here also we'll do the same. Here also we'll do the same. So what we are basically getting different yield ratios at each and every stage, right? Now at the end, what we'll do is we'll take the average of all the yield ratios for all the sources. For example, for source one, that is what is our source one? Employment news newspaper. That means we rolled out advertisement in newspaper. So we'll take an average of all the yield ratios in the first stage. We'll get an average yield ratio. That is called as cumulative yield ratio. Okay. Now similarly for second source, similarly for third source. Now what do we understand from that cumulative yield ratio is that particular cumulative yield ratio is the percentage of candidates that basically reach the final round out of the total applicants. That means from next time we can tell that, see, if you opt for this particular source of employment news, or if you opt this particular employment news source in order to do the recruitment, there is a high chance that this much percentage of the applicants will reach to the final round. Now what do? You basically see organizations, what they'll do is they'll basically calculate yield ratios for each and every sources. They will continuously be calculating yield ratios so that they can be updated about the information, telling that okay, for this particular source this is the yield ratio, for this particular source this is the yield ratio. So basically what they're telling is, if we use this particular source, there is a chance that this much percentage of the people will come till the last. So basically organizations will choose the source which has high yield ratio, because that is giving a high chance, right? There the time is saving, right? You are getting more number of candidates who are basically good candidates, because they are moving to they are basically traveling till the last round, or they are basically qualifying each and every round and coming to the last round, right? So basically organizations do calculate yield ratios for different sources, and they will generally prefer the yield ratios which are more, or sources which are producing high yield ratios, or simple terms, high cumulative yield ratios. Okay. Now in my organization, in my particular example, I told that I will be having different stages. That's why I'm calculating a cumulative yield ratio. Now there will be certain organizations, or there will be certain jobs for which you will not be having different rounds. You will be having a single round. In that way, in that particular situation, you will be having one ratio, that is only one yield ratio, right? So basically we are telling in this, the theory that we have just done, we are telling that basically yield ratio is the percentage of candidates moving to the next round. Now if you have so many different stages, you will be having so many different yield ratios, right? Now which one will you consider? In that particular situation, you will take out the average of all the yield ratios, which is called as a cumulative yield ratio. That is the basic concept of cumulative yield ratio. And the last statistical tool, or the last recruitment metric that the organizations can use in order to monitor or improve the effectiveness or efficiency of the recruitment is the cost of recruitment. Now cost of recruitment basically gives you the cost per hire. For example, the total cost, total direct, indirect, each and every cost that I have put in for recruitment, the total costs occurred for one particular recruitment drive. For example, in January 2020 I did the recruitment, and the total cost that my company paid is this much, and the total number of people that I hired is, for example, 100. What I'll do is, in order to look after or basically in order to know how much money did I spend in order to hire each and every single employee, if I want to know that, what I'll do is I will take the total cost my company incurred, and basically I will divide it by the number of hires where I will be getting the cost that my company has put in order to hire each and every individual person. Okay, that is basically used to monitor, your basic recruitment in the organization, telling that okay, if we again go to recruitment, we have to keep in mind telling that okay, this much amount we have to, on an average we have to be spending this much amount for each and every employee that we need to fill in the organization. And organization will also use this particular information in order to try to reduce that particular cost. Now by calculating the cost, you are basically trying, or basically you are knowing, telling that okay, this much amount we are spending, right? Now the organization, what they'll do in some organizations, basically in some situations, what organizations do is they will try to reduce that amount. So in this way the organization use this particular cost of recruitment thing in order to monitor or improve the efficiency or effectiveness of the recruitment.